guys, and welcome back to Opal&Mint. I am Ashley, and I am sorry. I normally do my intro where you see my face, but it's just not going to happen today. Yep, just not feeling well. So I figured we just go ahead and dive right into this episode of Watercolor Blooms. I feel like I don't know how to do an intro without looking at the camera, but today we are doing a Watercolor Blooms episode. If you are not familiar with that, on this channel we do watercolor florals every single week. We keep them quick, simple, beginner friendly. And I've been doing the flower of the month. Last week we did daffodils, and I've been informed that cherry blossoms are also a March birth month flower. So we're going to do cherry blossoms today. And I wasn't going to use the Holbein granulators again because I don't want to throw them in your face too much. I just really like them. But the reason I'm using them today is because there's actually a color in here called cherry blossom. So that's what I'm going to use for my cherry blossoms. Obviously some other colors as well. But if you're not familiar with the Holbein granulating paints, here are the swatches of them. Here is our cherry blossom. I'm going to be using some other colors as well. I might actually need to get a pink from somewhere else for the deep pink in the middle. Possibly. We shall see. We'll see what happens. But I want these to be light, fluffy, soft flowers. And there's actually not a brown in here either for the branches. So I might dip into some other paints as well. But I want to use that specific color for our cherry blossoms. Also, we did a video on Saturday making our own palettes out of clay, and they have been varnished and dried, so I figured I would try and see if they work today. I'm hoping this varnish doesn't come up. It says it's waterproof, but we shall see. So yeah, if you didn't see us making those, check out our last video. But let's go ahead, open up the sketchbook. I'm using my Etcher Lab sketchbook. This is the one I've been using this entire series, and go to a new page here. I also normally like to have two camera angles, and it's not happening today as well. So I am very sorry. I'm barely sitting up right now. So I need a binder clip, and I don't have one with me. Yay, here's my Holbein tape too. Here we go. The Holbein soft tape is my favorite tape for taping down. Is there a pink in here that would work? I might be able to use this. I haven't used the Christy Rice palette in a while, so I might actually pull that out. Use the pink and the brown in here. We'll see. See what happens. All right, so I am going to tape down the edges using the Holbein soft tape, mostly because this keeps coming up. Today I'm going to be using the Princeton Neptune 1/4 inch dagger. I wanted to use this brush specifically for this because I'm wanting to try a technique that I haven't used in a little while, and we'll see if it works. But let's start. I'm not sure how I want to start these. Let me get some of the cherry blossom color, and I really want to water this down. Oh, I'm supposed to be using this. Okay. All right, let's see if this works. Putting a lot of water on here. I hope that it's not mixing varnish in it. Let me feel it and see if it feels different. No, it just feels like water. Okay, maybe it's not gonna come up. When it wiped off nice and easily. Does it have any different? It's really hard to tell. All right, we'll see. Okay. So I'm taking the cherry blossom and I'm going to super water this down. Actually, what I want to do, since I got a drop on my paper, sometimes stuff like this just inspires me to go even crazier. So I really like the chaos of splatter paint. And sometimes I like to just splatter and see where the placement of the flowers kind of come from there. So instead of me placing where the flowers go, I'm going to kind of splatter and then paint around those. I know that doesn't make sense right now, but okay. So let me get some cherry blossom. So like this bigger splat here, I'm going to take my tip of the brush to the splat and just kind of wiggle out a petal shape from there. And I want these to be very, very light to start with. So they have 5 petals, and I want these to look super fluffy, so I'm not gonna have super defined shapes. All right. So I think what really gives the cherry blossom its look is having the deeper pink in the middle fading out to the lighter pink. But I really want to see what this color does on its own, leaving it there, and then I might, I don't know, we'll play with it. Whoops, I just spilled it all over. If you're new here, I'm a chaotic painter. So I made this one, and evidently has a very convenient pore spout. Look at that. That is a flaw in my design. It's really hard to get that to close. Okay, that's really kind of funny though. So what I had originally had planned was I was going to double load my brush, have this light pink, and then put on the very tip of the brush a deeper pink. So I do want to try that for one of them. So I have my brush loaded with the light pink, and I'm just gonna go into this deeper pink and kind of wiggle a little bit on the tip of the brush. And we will start right here. So this has a nice taper on this, so you can have your tip and then kind of wiggle that petal shape, just like that. And I don't want these to look perfect. And that is the reason I'm using this brush, because this brush lends itself to kind of doing what it wants a little bit more than what you want. So let's see here. Let's do another one here. Just tapping the very tip of the brush in the deeper pink, and then going here. So that deeper pink's a little bit too bright of a pink for this type of flower for me. I wanted it to be a little more muted. So on the other ones, this is really too bright, isn't it? So I'm going to go through and just pick where I want these to be, and then we'll kind of connect them with branches after. So let's do another one with just the cherry blossom down here. So taking this brush, tip towards the center, gonna wiggle out the petal shape and just kind of go around this center. Don't try to make it perfect. We don't like perfect on this channel. We are imperfect and relaxed. Our goal is to relax while painting. Okay, so there's one here. It's very close to this, but I want to make it kind of facing this way. So it's going to kind of be a more side-facing flower. Again, I know this is very, very light. That is what I'm going for here. Okay, this one is still wet, but starting to dry, so I want to tap in a little bit deeper color. So I think what I want to do is actually take this bright pink and then mix it. Here's the Twilight Purple, this one, with one of the Holbein colors called Twilight Purple. Let's see if that, yeah, that's getting us a better color. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to tap just the very, very center of that cherry blossom flower. Oh, see, that's pretty. I like that much better than this color over here. So I'm going to tap a little bit on this one as well. There we go. light wispy flowers. Let's go ahead and take a little bit here. And on this one too. Okay. And if it goes too far out, just dry your brush off and kind of push back that color. Pretty. Okay. So I'm just going to continue doing that throughout this page. I think I might actually kind of do this in silence and just chill. That way I can save some of my energy and don't have to talk through the rest of it, because we're going to do a lot of just more of this. So I'm going to put some music to this and just kind of relax and just paint some cherry blossoms all over. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop there on the flowers for now. I may end up putting a couple more in if I need to, but I wanna see where these branches are gonna go. And then maybe a couple of leaves. Let's take, I actually might use one of the Holbein colors. There's one called Hazy Moon Yellow that might look kind of cool. So let me see where that is in here. I think it's this one. So I'm gonna take Hazy Moon Yellow. Again, I'm just gonna stick with the same brush today. All right, and let's see where we can put these branches to connect these flowers a little bit. So for the branches, I want them to be very kind of irregular and jagged. See, coming through here. Good. Just kind of lightly putting in some branches and even little bitty parts that come off of them. Just making it look a little bit organic and... Oh, that's cute. I know this space is kind of dead, but I'm liking the diagonalness of this. So I think I want to leave it like that. And once these dry a little bit further, I'm going to add more detail in the flowers, but actually I think that's where I want to leave that. I don't want to mess with the branch too much. That's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry and then we'll add in, look at I just love the way these separate. They're so cool. I'm going to let those dry and then we're going to add in the little middle darker pink. What are the pokey things coming out of the middle called? Are they stamen? I'm not really sure. Anyways, let me let this dry and we'll be right back. Okay, so it looks like the pink did stain this. I think it was the pink from the Christy Rice paint, but I don't know if the varnish was just not good enough, waterproof, I don't know. My first time making one of these, so it's so cute though. Anyways, that aside, we're gonna put in the little dots and lines that go in the center of these flowers to finish this off. So I'm just gonna take the pink from Holbein, the Twilight Purple, and I'm going to load up my brush. I want to be a fairly thick amount of paint, and by thick I mean we don't want too much water in it like this, so I'm getting more pigment. And then I'm even gonna take my cloth and kind of soak some of the water out of the side of the brush, and then I'll go back into the pigment a little bit and back on here. Now it's nice and thick. Okay, we want our brush to be to a nice fine point, like so. We'll start with this flower here. So I'm gonna put little pink dots coming out from the center, and then you just take little bitty line strokes going to those dots, or in the general direction of the dots even. Just kind of outward from that center spot. And then there you have your cherry blossom. And then just do that with the rest of them, keeping in mind the direction your flower is facing. So these two are kind of forward, so these are easy. Let me get to one that's not forward facing. Okay. Reloading my brush. Let's do this one. We're gonna have the dots go further on this side and then come in closer on this side. So like so. Here we go. Cute. For the buds, I do want to put in a little bit of pink that's deeper. Let me wash my brush off and kind of fan that out, and then just put a little bit of definition on that bud. Okay, same thing on the bud that's up here. I want to put a little, there we go, and then lift that just a little bit. Okay, so that flower's starting to bloom. All right, getting a little bit more pink. Again, this is Twilight Purple, but it's kind of pink. Again, this one's kind of facing that way a little bit, so I want the dots to go out further on this side and then come in closer here. And then just some little bitty lines. Don't make them too perfect. Nature, everything is kind of irregular usually, so. All right. Getting a little bit more paint. This one is facing that way, and you might actually only see a few of the dots poking through here. And I think what I want to do on this one is I'm gonna get a little bit lighter of that dark pink and just kind of define some of the petals just a tiny bit, so we can see that they are facing that way. There we go. And we've got a couple more. Let's do this one here. Little dots, little lines. And then this one. Cute. That one like really stands out because I had that more hot pink in it, but that's okay. If I did this over, I would not put that hot pink there. I'm taking this other pink a little bit. I'm trying to cover it some, but I don't know that that's gonna work. Okay, so I think that that's about done. I'm gonna do just a tiny bit. I always say I'm done and then I go one more step. I can't ever stop. But I want to keep these really light and fluffy. But a couple of them I feel like they need just a little definition. Just a smidge. So like these are really, really flat. So anytime my brush is going over here off screen, I'm dabbing it on my cloth, just so you know what I'm doing. And then up here, I'm dipping it in water, dabbing it on cloth. Here we go. That's better. All right, so that's my version of the cherry blossom. I'm sure there are lots of videos out right now on cherry blossoms because I think a lot of people are doing the flower, birth flower of the month, but hopefully this was a little bit different than some of those other ones. A little bit more loose, more carefree. But that is going to wrap up. Oh no, I cannot finish the video without taking the tape off. How dare I? Shame. All right, let's take the tape off. I actually really like that color for the branch. It's not a typical brown that you would use, but I actually really like it. And today, when I'm filming, it is the 7th, so 3/7/25. All right. But that is going to wrap up this video. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, and you want to see our future videos, hit that subscribe button down below, and we will see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you so much for your patience. I have one medical test down, 12 more to go. Next week is going to be particularly, actually this week, it's going to be particularly crazy. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is 4 tests in one day, and so hopefully we will be able to get other videos up this week. If not, then that is why. I will have been exhausted from all the tests. So I actually really like this one. Not often do I say that about my paintings. This one bothers me a little bit. Only a little. Maybe I should have tied it in with another one, but it's fine.